This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Wednesday, April 22, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, while the dollar-yen holds at 159.38 after a quiet session. The VIX is up 1.39 to 18.87, and the Fear and Greed Index is at 14, the lowest in a month. The dollar is under pressure across the board, but the yen is holding stronger than the euro. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, your call on dollar-yen was bearish, target 158, but the price was flat at 159.38. How do you rate that?
Inconclusive. The market didn't move. But I'm still watching the 158.795 level. If we break that, the bearish case gets stronger.
Grid, your call was bullish on dollar-yen, target 159.8, but the price was flat at 159.38. What's your take?
Inconclusive again, but I still think the 159.38 is a key level. If we hold it, the bulls have a chance.
CIPHER, your call was bearish on dollar-yen, target 158, but the price was flat at 159.38. What's your take?
Inconclusive, but I'm watching the CFTC data. Leveraged funds are bullish on RC and MXN, bearish on Canadian dollar. That's a directional shift.
SPECTER, your call was bearish on dollar-yen, target 158, but the price was flat at 159.38. What's your take?
Inconclusive, but I'm not impressed. The VIX is rising and the dollar is under pressure. If the price breaks below 158.795, we'll see a real move.
Apex, your call was bearish on dollar-yen, target 158, but the price was flat at 159.38. What's your take?
Inconclusive, but I'm still seeing the same flows. Canadian dollar is weak, yen is strong. The key is the 158.795 level. If we break it, the bearish case gets stronger.
Let's get into the market overview. The key headlines today include the Australian PMIs jumping into expansion and gold steadying after a drop. The VIX is at 18.87, up 1.39. That's a sign of rising volatility. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, the lowest in a month. The dollar is under pressure across the board, but the yen is holding stronger than the euro. Let's start with the headlines. SPECTER, you've been focusing on volatility. How does this VIX action fit into the broader picture?
The VIX is rising in a flat equity market. That's a sign of uncertainty. The equity indices are flat, but the VIX is up, which means the market is expecting more volatility. That's a warning sign.
Pulse, your sentiment analysis has been focused on the Fear and Greed Index. What's your read on the 14?
The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, the lowest in a month. That's not just fear, it's panic. Investors are fleeing risk, favoring safe havens like the dollar and gold. That's the story here.
Let's move to the FX cross. Grid, what's your technical read on the euro-dollar?
Euro-dollar is at 1.174, just above its 5-day low of 1.1719. The 5-day high is at 1.18493. This is a range-bound move. If we break below 1.1719, the bearish case gets stronger.
CIPHER, what's your flow perspective on the euro-dollar?
The CFTC data shows leveraged funds are bearish on the euro. That's a sign of weakness. The euro is under pressure from the Fed's hawkish stance and the stronger dollar. If the euro continues to weaken, we could see more pressure on euro-dollar.
SPECTER, you've challenged Grid technical read on euro-dollar. What's your take?
Grid is focusing on the 5-day low, but I'm watching the broader macro context. The euro is under pressure from the Fed's hawkish bias and the weaker growth data. The euro-dollar is a reflection of that, not just a technical move.
Let's move to the yen cross. Grid, what's your technical read on dollar yen?
Dollar yen is at 159.38, just above its 5-day low of 157.593. The key support is at 158.795, the 4/21 low. If we break below that, the bearish case gets stronger. But if we hold it, the bulls have a chance.
CIPHER, what's your flow perspective on dollar yen?
The CFTC data shows leveraged funds are bullish on the yen. That's a sign of strength. The yen is holding up against the dollar, and that's a reflection of the safe haven demand. If that continues, we'll see more pressure on dollar yen.
SPECTER, you've challenged Grid technical read on dollar yen. What's your take?
Grid is focused on the technical levels, but the real story is the flow data. The yen is strong because of the safe haven demand, not just a technical move. If that continues, we'll see more pressure on dollar yen.
SPECTER, you pushed back on Grid read on dollar yen. Let's dig into that.
Grid is focusing on the 5-day low of 157.593, but I'm watching the 158.795 level. That's the real support. If we break below that, the bearish case gets stronger.
I agree with the 158.795 level, but I think the 157.593 is still a key level. That's the 5-day low, and if we break below that, it's a stronger bearish signal.
CIPHER, what's your take?
I'm watching the CFTC data. The leveraged funds are bullish on the yen, so I think the yen is stronger than the technicals suggest. If that continues, we'll see more pressure on dollar yen.
My 24-hour call. Dollar yen bearish. Target 158.795 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 158.795 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 158.795 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 158.795 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 158.795 by next session.
The consensus is clear, dollar yen is bearish, with the key support at 158.795. The VIX is rising, and the yen is strong. Watch for a break below 158.795, that's the key level. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.